Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live and we are sitting still top of the Premier League. It's the international break. Arsenal are top. Everyone hates us. We don't care. It is what it is. And I'm joined by Steve, Kate, and Jerome Marks. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, mate? Good.
All right. And how you doing, Jerome?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
All right. Let's see what we've got in the comment section so far. We've got Johnny saying, evening, everyone. Hope you're all well, enjoying the Arsenal once again. Are you enjoying being top again, Johnny? We're going to be talking plenty about that today. What else we got in there? I just see someone pop in, and Stephen's in there on time again today. I'm loving it, Stephen. That's got to be 4 pods on the trot, mate. On the trot. Brilliant. Let's first focus on the Brentford victory. 3-0 victory against Brentford this weekend. Jerome, you wasn't on the post-match reaction. What were your thoughts on the game?
Wow. Well, would I say surprised at how it turned out? Maybe a little bit. I mean, that is night and day to the performance there last season. Amazing result. Probably even better performance, really. So dominant the whole way through, apart from the minute's applause for the Queen. That was the only time really when Brentford had an attack, pretty much, or when I think they had the ball for probably the whole of that minute, and that was about it. But yeah, brilliant overall performance by pretty much everyone. Very, very impressed with Vieira, considering that's his first game in the Premier League away from home against that type of opponent. You couldn't tell that was his first game. It looked like he'd played for us for ages. Fantastic and very, very positive signs. And it's a shame that, well, in some ways it's a shame there's the international break, but because you want to see us play again, but in other ways, hopefully, a couple of players coming back from injury. So
we'll get onto the team after the international break because October is one hell of a month. But we'll discuss this right now. Steve, some really good individual performances, but overall, it was the game was won with a big team performance. Some standout performances in the match, but overall, it was a very good team performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the trait that we've been seeing since the start of the season, and even in the Manchester United game. I mean, for me, it was still an excellent performance in that game, even though we lost, which I felt we shouldn't have lost. But yeah, overall, it was a team performance. You can see there's a really good bond going in there, not just like with partnerships on the pitch, but through the whole team and around the club, and that's trickling down to the fans as well. We see the after the first goal and everybody huddling together and and talking, and people were taking a mickey over a little bit of that, of what we're doing, because of our celebrations and because of the huddles. But as you said, just let them go on, let them keep talking. But I think that's great. It's showing. I know we're talking about the players, and there was some great individual performances, great team performance. But Mikel Arteta, what he's done with that team since he's come to the club, I mean, it's. I still think it's being recognised by many, especially other fans and some Arsenal fans, because when he came in, there was so much to do, and he's just built it slowly, so to a degree of where we are now, and it's just so exciting, going forward. But fantastic team performance. Defence seems, all together. No matter who comes in, that's something I'm noticing. No matter who's coming in to this team, we're still performing on the same standards. Normally, you would Arsenal teams over the past, you get a player come in, the midfielder drop, or the forwards would drop, or the defence would drop. If each one of the individual player out of those positions is out, but nothing's dropping. And I'm just so excited now. I don't want to get carried away. I know you don't want me to get carried away, Kieran, but from what I'm seeing, and it's very hard not to, but I'm going to try and keep calm as much as I can.
Yeah, no. Look, I can't get on board with talk of a title run 7 games into the season, which I know there's a few accounts that are out there, which I just think it's baiting us, to be honest, because these were the same people that were out there saying that Mikel Arteta should be questioned because he didn't get didn't get Champions League. Some were calling for his head because he didn't get Champions League, and these are people that don't even support our team. These are just people that want to commentate on our team, and then 5 games into the season want to say Mikel Arteta deserves credit now and Arsenal were in the champions in a fight for the Premier League. And it's just, I just know exactly what it is. It's clear as day. I've seen it before. It's bait us into this. We're in a Premier League, which no Arsenal fans are actually saying. No Arsenal fans are saying we're in a title race. They're just taking it game by game, which is what we're doing. And then as soon as we're not in it, they're going to turn around and say, Banter FC, how can they ever think they was in a Premier League title race? It's just the same. Yeah. It's just the same nonsense. And I'm not buying into it. Look, if we end up in a title race by the end of the season, it will be unbelievable. I just don't think we are. I just think it's too soon. There's a lot of games to come. It's a horrible season with the World Cup in between. I don't know how that's going to play out. That's going to be massive with regards to potential momentum lost with some teams, or could help out other teams. We don't know how it's going to go. It's something that we're very unprecedented. It's something we've not done before. So it will be very, very interesting to see how that goes. I still think
I think like when there's certain people who you just don't want to listen to, but I think I'm just excited, and I just think that if we can bring some players in on January, we can have a very good season. I'm not going to say we can win the title. I don't think Man City can say they're going to win the title. I don't think Liverpool can say they win the. I don't think nobody can say they're going to win the title. It's the first time for a long while now that I can actually say that, I can see us going upwards. So that's what I'm going to say.
No, definitely. Progress is I've seen progress already. From what I've seen progression. Yes, there definitely needs to be more. I think we need to be more clinical, more ruthless. Those are definitely things that I think we need to do going forward. We'll have to see what we're like against some of the tougher oppositions like Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, which is like a first game in October. So, or our next game. So, yeah, those are going to be big games, which I'm looking forward to, because this is a completely different Arsenal team. And it's a definite exciting one. Jerome, no Gabriel Jesus in the Brazil squad, no Ben Wyatt in the England squad. Was you surprised by seeing that one?
I think Jesus is pretty much guaranteed to go. I think because I think Firmino's in the team ahead of him, or in the squad now, and you can't. I think that he's nailed on that he's just maybe getting a rest. Maybe Edu's spoken to. I know he's very friendly with the Brazilian manager. Maybe he's just said we got. That he's going to go to the World Cup, so we need him fresh for our fixtures, and maybe they've come to some sort of agreement. Ben Wyatt, on the other hand, very surprised that when you see some of the other centre backs that are in the squad and how well he's been playing, it doesn't really make sense, to be honest. But that's up to Southgate. It's his decision. I think he's got his favourites, and even if they don't play, they're still going to be selected in the squad. I think Maguire hasn't played a lot. He's in the squad. You can't say that Maguire's had a better season so far than Ben Wyatt. And Southgate used to say that I'm going to pick players on sort of merit. Well, you're not. But look, it's good for us. It's not good for Ben Wyatt. I'm sure he wants to play for England. I'm sure it's an ambition of his to go to the World Cup. But for Arsenal, it's good because he can have a proper rest for a couple of weeks. But yeah, super surprised with Ben Wyatt. But
do you think though? Just ask Jerome. Do you think, Jerome, that it's because he's been playing right back that he's not in the squad? Just saying, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, mate. Is it? He keeps coming at Southgate, doesn't he, and saying that, I want people playing in their right positions and this, that, and the other.
Maguire's playing on the bench.
We're loving him at right back. Do you know what I mean? We're seeing him there. We want him to stay there as far as an Arsenal goes, but as far as England goes, has it been a bit detrimental to him being picked?
It's a good question. What I'll say is, I think when Ben Wyatt played for England last time, I actually think he played right back. I might be corrected, but I don't think he played centre back. Also,
yeah, you're right. He did play right back.
The way that Southgate plays, normally he plays with three at the back, and he plays Kyle Walker as that third right centre back, and Kyle Walker plays right back for Man City. So I think it's a bit of a not a cop out, but I don't think that's the reason. Although it does sort of make sense in theory. I just think he prefers other players that maybe he's got more of a Southgate that's got more of an affinity with, that's played for him a few times before. But yeah, that, in theory, that would make sense as to why he's been left out. But he spends a lot of the time sort of in the middle anyway. Ben White, they shuffle about quite a bit. But it's the manager's decision at the end of the day, and it's a shame because personally for him would be great.
Yeah, I don't think it plays too much of a part in it. I think for Southgate, it's a bit of an easy way out to say Ben White's played in right back. He's been playing that position. I don't buy into that at all. I just don't think he's not picked Ben White before. When Ben White has played centre back last season, when Harry Maguire was having an absolutely awful time of it centre back, and it didn't make any difference then where he was playing. So I just don't think. I just don't think he fancies him too much. I think he goes for tried and tested. With this so close to the tournament, I think that he's seen Eric Dyer's come back into form, and he knows what he gets out of Eric Dyer in the tournament football. So close to the time, I think he's probably looking at Eric Dyer to potentially bring back in if needed. Because if it was a case of, do you bring in a Ben White over a Harry Maguire, or do you bring in an Eric Dyer over a Harry Maguire? I think Gareth Southgate's picking Eric Dyer based on the fact that he knows what he's getting from him, and not because Eric Dyer's a better player than Ben White, which is not even close to being anywhere near Ben White.
And Tottenham have hardly played great teams. We keep hearing about Tottenham doing this, Tottenham doing that, how well some Tottenham players are playing. But if you have a look at the teams that they've played at the beginning of the season, apart from Fulham's probably the best team they've played, the rest of the people they've played are in like 17th place, 19th place, 18th place, 15th, 14th place. So picking Eric Dyer, is Dyer in the squad? Is he in it? Is he in the squad?
Yeah, Dyer's back.
Yeah, I find that weird. I can understand right back. That's quite a difficult, position to get in for England with, Terence Trent-Arnold, Reece James, Trippier, Kyle Walker, and then you've got Ben White trying to get in that. He probably ain't going to get in there. Actually, I'm talking here, and now I'm starting to get a bit worried about Ben White going to the World Cup because you just said Southgate's got his favourites, and I can't see him getting there in a right back position.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not going to get in a right back position. They've got three top right backs, so it's just that's not going to happen. And I think they've only picked 4 central midfielders as well, so he's definitely overloading that wing back position. And it's more of a centre back 3. It probably looks like that he's going to be going for, but it is what it is. It's their loss. Ben White gets an extra 2 weeks break, but like Jerome said, it would have been nice for Ben White to get a bit of acknowledgement for the form that he has been in recently. Couple of other performances stand out yesterday. Granit Xhaka excellent all over the park, up top and at the back. He was very good yesterday. Massive turnaround from Granit Xhaka, you've seen, Steve.
Yeah, massive. Just an excellent. I've always thought, how I've always felt about Granit Xhaka, without having to say I'm boring. I've always felt there's there's a player in there, and I'm glad to have been proven right. But I don't take away the help that Thomas Partey's given him, because, like I said on the post match, I always thought Xhaka was a player. I've never seen what other people who have, not thought he was as good as a player, what they've seen. But
his form since Arteta's been here is dramatically improved.
Yeah. It's become
beforehand compared to the Granit Xhaka that we saw under Wenger, under Emery, compared to the Granit Xhaka we're seeing now is night and day.
Yeah, he's playing. He's like a player who's playing in two different positions. Under Wenger and Emery, he was more that stopper, that person who sort of stayed in that in that defensive DM position and not much there, and he wasn't mobile enough to sort of sometimes get out of trouble. But for me, he did a similar job to what Scott McTominay's doing to Man United then under Wenger and Emery, where he won the ball, he passed it off. A bit rash at times, but we do get that with Granit Xhaka. But even with even saying that, since Arteta's came, he's morphed him into this totally different footballer who's someone who's, like I said on the post match, we're seeing him do things that, especially this weekend, that Martin Odegaard was doing. We see him playing ball through the channels and cutting defences in half. We're seeing him put balls on a sixpence. We've always known he's good at a long ball, but yeah, I totally agree. He's under Mikel Arteta, he's became something even more. And also we can't not mention Thomas Partey, because Thomas Partey coming into this side has made Granit Xhaka been able to go more forward and able to show Arsenal fans what he can do, and he's done that. And maybe if Thomas Partey wasn't there, maybe we probably wouldn't be seeing the Granit Xhaka that we're seeing this season, and probably the last season as well. An incredible performance, a good ex-leader on the pitch, and he's won the Arsenal fans over, which I'm so pleased, because I think deep down he's a really nice guy, and I'm really pleased for him.
Jerome, Granit Xhaka, very good performance on Saturday.
Yeah, very good performance. It's such an interesting topic, Xhaka. You have to give him credit for his performances. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's doing. I don't know if he's doing much different to what he normally does. I think what it is he's playing in different areas. So, like Steve mentioned, maybe like the mobility side, that isn't really coming into it as much. When you're playing as the main central or defensive midfielder, and you're the focal point of that midfield, you can find yourself in areas where your lack of mobility can be exploited. Whereas at the moment, he's playing in areas where it doesn't really happen that much, and he's got players around him that are helping him. The fact that the team are playing a lot better, and we're further ahead in the sort of journey or development of this team, I think that plays a part of it as well. But his passing's always been good. His attitude, his calmness on the ball. When he's got space, he can pick out a pass, whether it be long or short. The cross for Jesus, he put it on his head. He had loads to do, Jesus, but it was still a very, very good ball. And if he can keep it up, the way he's been playing so far, because that was an area whereby a lot of Arsenal fans thought, we'll have to upgrade that position, that sort of left central midfield position. But he sort of made it his own. Really, there's not even any question marks over it anymore. So if he can keep playing the way he's playing, Fantastic, and it was nice for the Arsenal fans to sing a song for him as well. So yeah, there's a few elements that have made this happen, and keep it going.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think you'll see definitely a different bounce in his game. It's very easy to get bogged under by negativity when your fans, you don't feel like your fans are on your side. Those runs to the last ditch tackles, when you've got fans and players that you know are behind you, you'll find that a little extra bit of pace. You find that a little bit extra breath and yards to get that tackle in. And we saw that on the weekend as well. So definitely long may that continue. It's a nice touch from the Arsenal fans to sing his song, because the players like to be loved. So it's good to have a coherent team. Another player who Alan Shearer pointed out on the weekend has been a major difference for Arsenal is Gabriel Jesus. His movement, the headed goal from Granit Xhaka's ball, his work rate off the ball has been impeccable. He seems to set a standard from the kickoff, where he's just chasing and harrying. And this is a guy that's won 4 Premier League trophies and can't be sort of accused of going to a lesser team and then shirking responsibilities. He's taking it all on his shoulders. What's your thoughts on Gabriel Jesus' performance on the weekend, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, he's coming to Arsenal. He's a breath of fresh air. He's something that, you know, we needed, desperately needed, probably in the position that we need, you know, more than any other. He's coming and he's smashing it. He's a player who's, you know, I think his leadership on the pitch, and I don't know why, you know, all of a sudden, he wasn't really at Manchester City. You know, you didn't really hear much of him. But when you look back, he was still scoring goals and knocking them in at Man City. Maybe it's because Man City got so many good players that he wasn't getting recognised. But, you know, for Arsenal, I mean, you know, I can't praise him enough. You know, there's so many different elements, you know, to his game that we haven't had for a long time. His pace, he's all right. He's funny. He's got booked already 4 times this season already, where I think he only got booked once in his whole career at Man City. I think something like that. It just shows you that I think he'll do that. He'll do that, and we're probably going to lose him to suspension soon. So, which won't be a good thing. And then we'll sort of be looking at the bench and hoping that Heady comes on. So, and you know, able to take over the mantle. But you can't praise the guy enough. He's got everything. He's, you know, it was a good little thing from, you know, what Arteta done by bringing Zinchenko in, and so they've got that partnership with the two together. He's a winner. He's a title winner. He's a Champions League player. We need to get back into the Champions League for him. I think we will. And he's just an all-round, you know, pain in the arse to defenders, and you need that. I mean, how many goals is he going to score this season? I mean, I don't know. He's on, what is he on, 4 now? You know, obviously he won't score as many as Ireland, I don't think, but I'm sure he gets.
Is anyone going to? He's a machine.
No. Yeah, I think he get 20, 25 goals easily this season, Gabriel Jesus. And he's just a breath of fresh air. He does things on the football pitch that we used to see the old Arsenal do. So, yeah, it's great. It's lovely that he's in there. And what a snip, you know, 42 million. He still gets, you know, the people, you know, from other clubs, they're still popping us and, you know, about Jesus and how we bought a Man City reserve. Well, keep talking.
Man City reserve, like, I don't.
Yeah.
These people, I don't know if they're watching what game of football they're watching, because Gabriel Jesus just scored 4, assisted 3 in 7 games. So he's got 7 goal contributions in 7 games. That's. I mean, what more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? You can't.
You can't. He was the only guy about, you know, centre forward, decent centre forward. I mean, and Arsenal got him, and Arteta and Edu done a great job to get him. And this is the guy that, you know, when we do win honours at Arsenal, and you know, when it comes a time that we win a Champions League or in years to come, or on a title in years to come, this is the guy who'll be spearheading it. And he was going to cost 42 million. So yeah, I can't, as I said, I can't praise him after what he does in the pool. He's a workhorse. Yeah, I just hope he stays fit. The only worry I've got is if he gets injured. If he gets injured, then I do have a worry, because I think we may be a little bit short. So I'll be keeping my fingers crossed for Eddie there, that he can come in, take up the mantle, and just, you know, at least get somewhere close to Jesus. It's a slight worry in that position I've got yet at the moment, but not as worried as I was, you know, say like at the beginning of the season or before the pre-season games, because Eddie's done fantastic. So I've still got that little hope that he can come in and not make a lot of difference. Sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. Been impressed with Gabriel Jesus so far, Jerome?
Yeah, of course.
And on Saturday?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, his goal, you know, we're floating the ball into the box, not for a 6'5" striker.
Yeah.
But like I think two of his goals have been headers. And that's like an aspect of his game that probably wasn't even thought about, really. It's all about, you know, movement, pressure, finishing, but not sort of scoring goals with his head. But yeah, it's just another string to his bow. Yeah, we got to keep this guy fit. He's different class. He just brings so much to the team. He's on the right, he's on the left, he's down the middle. And a lot of this pressing, it starts from him, doesn't it? These defenders, they will not have a moment's peace with him around. And it's a shame about these bookings, because yeah, he's going to miss a game soon. And there was something that I think he was, when he was at City, he hardly got any bookings, and I think it just goes to show you can get away with a bit more at City than you can at Arsenal. But you know, maybe we're biased Arsenal fans.
So
are we saying?
Yeah, I mean, are we saying are we still worried about goals in our team? We're sitting top of the league. We're scoring goals for fun. But are we still worried that we still need to bring in a goal scorer? Because the way the conversation's going seems to be going that way round, isn't it? Because
I'm not worried.
We need Saka and Martinelli to start.
Yeah,
I mean they have been scored.
Yeah, my worry's not. Look, Gabriel Jesus will get suspended. If he gets suspended, what's he get? A 1-match ban, 2-match ban? We're not talking about a long. It's more if it's an injury or anything like that, which would be the worry. But look, we saw Eddie come in, and even when he starts at the moment, he scores a goal or he makes trouble. If Eddie is to come in, he just needs to run the games. But yeah, no, I'm not worried. It's one of them things. We could be worried all the time. We did this last season. And yeah, it wasn't actually the position that I think we were worried about, which was the position that we ended up losing. We was worried about up front. We got rid of Aubameyang, and then we ended up losing our central midfielder and left back, which absolutely killed us. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that position there. I think the way that we're playing as a team. I just think I still think there's a little bit more to go in terms of gears. Martinelli, he's there nearly. He's just got to get on that. It's just that next step is then now scoring goals, and I think he'll get that consistently soon. Saka, same. He's getting better. He's starting to get into his stride. And I think that once he gets a goal, which is a proper goal, not like a deflection, not like a tap in, something where he's created it, something where he's cutting in from the left and whipping it in, which is what he was doing last season and the season before. He seems to have hit a bit of a lull in that side of scoring. He was unlucky on the weekend. Raya made a quality save from his shot. However, that the ball was very much underneath him as well at that time. He kind of, it was underneath him. He kind of scooped it out. So yeah, it's just, I don't think we're far off. I just think the dots are starting to connect, which is really good. Let me just answer a couple of these questions in the comment section now. I'll speak about another player who played on the weekend, and then we're going to October. Stephen says, can you imagine how good Xhaka feels with all the fans singing his song? His confidence would be sky high, and he'd be playing with an extra. He'd give extra in every game. No, that's what I was saying earlier, Stephen. You do. Look, if I used to say it about Theo Walcott, he was quite a timid person. It seemed as it is. So when I used to hear the Arsenal fans groaning when he was coming on as a sub, it used to be like, this is counterproductive. It was the stupidest thing I ever used to hear. People moaning when Walcott used to come on, and you could hear it. And you just think to yourself, what are you expecting to get out of a player when you can hear the groans as his number goes up on the pitch? You flip that around. You saw what happened to Eddie when Eddie was getting cheered when he was coming on the pitch last season, towards the end of the season. And it makes a massive difference. It makes a massive difference to a player. If you don't think it does, then you're stupid. Like, I don't care what you say. Money doesn't stop people from having feelings. Footballers are humans, and you can tell by what Granit Xhaka's story that people react as human beings because when they're put in those situations. So, yeah, is Jesus being ref differently? Or if Jesus is being ref differently to when he was at City, or is it because he's playing more centrally? I personally think it could be a case of the latter. People at City had their roles. You did this, you was here, and yes, Gabriel Jesus was one of the best sort of defensive forwards in the league last season and the season before. I do think that at Arsenal, you're going to have to do it a little bit more. I think that people against Man City potentially aren't holding on to the ball as long, aren't running out of the ball. Whereas against teams like Arsenal, they may think they may be able to get a bit more out of them, and they're doing a bit more. You just won't see certain teams attack City. Whereas other teams will attack us. Those same teams will attack us because they fear that they're going to be hit against City on the break. So it's going to be different. But I do think it's a little bit of the latter. Jesus deserves to have more goals for all his work. Look, he's like I said, Russ. He's got 7 in 7. Whether that's goals or assists, he's contributing goals, and I'm happy with that. 7 in 7 is good for me. What about rival fans saying we got a striker who couldn't get a game in a team with no strikers? Yes, you're right. And that's what I mean. I put out a post yesterday, was like, nah, not having it. There's too many people trying to banter.
You press your mute, kids.
There were teams calling us Banter FC this season, and teams calling us, and now they've gone from calling us Banter FC to, oh no, Mikel Arteta ain't bad. What? Where was the middle? Last season was the middle. The middle was last season. The build-up, the progression. That was the middle. The one where people were saying, nah, Mikel Arteta needs to go because he didn't get Champions League.
Yeah, but when was the bad? Well, I'd like to know when you ask them when was the bad, they don't answer the question.
Oh, well, the bad was
what
coming. What
was the
8th.
bad?
The bad was coming 8th. That was a horrible season.
Yeah, but we came 8th, but I looked at that as, I still looked at that as progression, because that was the season where he was there to get rid of. He's had that conversation with Kroenke. This is the way I see it anyway, in hindsight now, that he said to him, you've got to get these 12 players out of the club before you even start to have a team of your own. So me looking at that now, I'm thinking, well, what we've only won the FA Cup. So I'm like, where was the bad? Where was the bad? You have to look at.
But as a fan base, go and have a look back at last season and have a look at the first half of that season. For us to get through that year and still be behind Mikel Arteta, we deserve a pat on the back because that was rough. It was all red. It was all red from not last season, the season before. So not last season, season before. It was all red. That first half of the season was red. Loss, draw, win, draw, loss. It was horrible. Horrible. And people put up pictures and say, remember we were here. And you're like, oh shit, we were. We deserve a pat on the back for that. Because it was rough. It was rough. And we come out the other end. So, but look, we're here now.
Yeah.
We had the season last season where we could all see progression. We could all see people who didn't see a style of play saw the style of play. And now we're seeing what. Yes, there was a blip towards the end of last season, but after the first 3 games until just past January, it was very, very good. The end of the season beforehand was very, very good in the second half of the season. And I feel like it's now culminated into this now, which is hopefully we get 2 good halves of the season. We can finish top 4 and and get back into Europe where we belong. Another player played weekend on his debut. Steve, he replaced the injured Martin Odegaard, was Fabio Verreira, and what a goal he scored. Very good debut. Didn't really seem like he was too much out of place in the new Arsenal team.
We never missed Martin Odegaard, and as I said, I think I said on the post match that if you want to give praise to the guy, to the kid, 22 years old, first game came in and absolutely smashed it, and he's given, he may not have given Arteta an headache yet. He's dare say he's got to see him a few times yet. Saying that, he sees him in training every week, so I'm sure he knows what he can give. And he was absolutely brilliant. He was fantastic on the ball. It was just like dyeing Martin Odegaard's ear and sticking a beard on him. You know what I mean? Because he was like doing exactly the same things. You couldn't, if someone was to come down from outer space and you was to say that's Martin Odegaard, you'd be like, and you would know how he plays. You would think, oh right, yeah, that someone's explaining it to me. That's exactly how he plays, because that's exactly how he was. And I mean, what a goal! What a fantastic goal! The guy's got a fantastic touch. Again, we've already said from Arteta, he's just been asked about him, and he's been asked about how small he is and can he handle the Premier League. And you just got a royal smile from Mikel Arteta's face, and he's just sort of give a little wink and say, "Yeah, you watch this kid. Yeah, you watch this kid this season." So he knows what he's capable of, and we see it against Brentford. He was outstanding. He was an 8. He was a 9 out of 10. So you can't do more than that, than on your debut, mate. I can't wait to see more of him. Obviously, I want I want Martin Odegaard back ASAP, because Martin Odegaard's Arsenal's captain. But there's another part of me who says I want to see him again next week, or I want to see him after the international break, because he was that good. But the good thing is, giving we're giving Mikel Arteta's giving headaches. This is what we want. We want him to give him headaches. Tomiyasu, Wyatt, Zinchenko, Tierney, Odegaard, Vieira, headaches. Giving him headaches. We want Smith Rowe back quick. Give him that headache with Martinelli on that left, headache. That's why we need someone for like Marquinhos to come through with Saka. But Vieira, fantastic. He comes from Portugal. He plays for Arsenal. I mean, what more? Give him the number 4 shirt. Give him the number 4 shirt now. Brilliant, mate. He was brilliant.
Jerome, Fabio Verreira, excellent goal on the weekend, eh?
Yeah.
Visions of Bernardo Silva, David Silva.
Yeah, I just want to say Johnny's comments have been brilliant, and Johnny, it's actually grape juice, not vodka and Coke. I wish it was.
Yeah. It's Johnny.
It's a school night, isn't it? It's a school night. Maybe on the weekend. Fabio Verreira. You know what? It's a shame. I'll tell you why it's a shame, because it seems as though it's going to be Odegaard or Vieira, but you'd love to see both. You'd love to see both of them in the same team.
Yeah, you
I
would.
know Odegaard is people have described him as the technical leader. This guy's he's the same level technically, I think, as Odegaard. I know we've only seen one game and a little bit in the Europa League, but he's not in the team for his physicality. He's in the team for his technical skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he plays, he's going to impact the team a lot with end product, whether that be goals or the through ball. He's deadly in that final third.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's been talk of maybe he can play like as a winger, perhaps. I think he needs a winger with him, because he needs like the runners, or that's how he thrives. If he's collecting the ball on the wing, he ain't going to stay on the wing and beat a player down the line. I don't think that's his game. I think he's like one of those creative players we used to have, perhaps like a Riziki or a Khleb, where their best work was in the middle. It wasn't really out wide. They could do that a few times, but predominantly it's through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think as Steve said, I think Arteta said, like, you're going to enjoy watching him play. And I think hopefully what we've come to realise with Arteta is, I think he's a very good judge. I think
he doesn't just wax lyrical, does he? Doesn't just blow smoke up people's arse, does he? He doesn't do things for no reason. He when he says it, you're like, okay, I'm listening here.
Yeah, and also there's a thought behind it as well. I think maybe we'll come on to, obviously, one of the young boys that came on, but he knows what he's doing, Arteta. And if there was any doubt where we were worried that if Odegaard's not in the team, we're gonna struggle in one game, because Brentford away, that's like a type of game where, let's be honest, I know the team played brilliantly, but sometimes a criticism of Odegaard is maybe in those tough physical away games, maybe he doesn't get involved enough. Perhaps maybe if he had played on Saturday, that wouldn't have been an issue, because the team was so good and we had loads of the ball. But to make your debut away at that ground where there's been bad memories for the team, and players, if he'd been in the team for ages, really promising and excellent full debut.
Definitely, it was a very good full debut. I think we may see a bit of both in the team. Maybe when we're going for a goal, unfortunately. Hopefully in Europe a bit, but I do think it's a case of one or the other. But I think Vieira was brought in because he's more direct with that final ball than Odegaard. Odegaard's like that in between 8 and 10, isn't he? Like, he's so good to watch because he's. I think you said it, or did I see it in the comment section? Khleb. Odegaard's like that, where you want him to shoot a bit more, you want him to just do the other things a bit more, but he's on the ball. He's brilliant. His passing range is excellent. He's always looking for that ball. But Fabio Verreira is looking for that. It feels like he's looking for that goal. He knows where the goal is, and he's looking for that pass in the area. He's looking for that ball in the area. And when you listen to what Edu said about him and what Arteta said about him when they first bought him, I saw that on Saturday. And it's a very exciting prospect going forward. Go and check out our video on Fabio Verreira, where we had a Portuguese expert on, and he has plenty of good things to say about Vieira. Go and check that out after the show, of course.
It's interesting. Sorry, mate. It's interesting to know now what we're going to do with Youri Tielemans, because we're talking about Xhaka there and playing in this sort of. I mean, what would you call it? That's a bit of an 8 position, isn't it?
It's an 8. Xhaka's playing in the 8.
He's playing in the 8. And really, you know, Tielemans is not going to come to the club to be a bench player. So I think he's missed a trick. I think Leicester probably let him down more than anything, because, I mean, we're talking about, why Xhaka all of a sudden turned into this whole different type of player. I mean, the fact that there was all these rumours about Tielemans coming could have made, Arteta could have worded in his ear, say, look, you can prove you can be the number 8. You'll be the number 8. You can save us some money. And it was really interesting to see. I don't know if you see Tielemans' comments today, which really made me laugh. He said that I didn't leave Leicester because I wanted to go to a club with the right project. Well, if Arsenal ain't the right project, then I don't know. I don't know what is. So yeah, that's all the people out there. It's not transfer bit here, but sometimes players and chairmen and managers lie out their arse, and I think this is the perfect occasion.
I mean, that looks like it's pretty evident, that one. If Yuri Tillemans wants to save face by saying that he wasn't interested in any moves properly this summer, of course he's going to say that because he's still at the club. And I'm sure he'd make inklings into saying he could potentially sign a new deal if the right situation arises, which it's all just nonsense. They all do it just to save face. I remember when Fabio Verreira says I was never thinking of leaving Arsenal because you found a medical at Real Madrid, mate. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew it. He came back for like 1 or 2 seasons, then went to Juventus. Like, it is what it is. It's not that deep. We move on. Another player that we didn't really get to see much, but I think we've seen in the comment section, where did I see it? He's only 15. Johnny knows who we're going to be talking about. It's Ethan Noari. We didn't have a really look at him, but Jerome, you had a little look at him. What did you get to see from him at the youth level?
Yeah, it's hard really because there's not tons of footage. So you're feeding off of scraps as some strikers do. But what I think you get when you read a little bit about what people have said about him is that, well, firstly, let me just say he only made his under 18 debut at the end of last season. So he's been properly fast tracked through the youth system and made his under 21 debut, I think, earlier this season. And what some people have said about him is that he's like an attacking midfielder, but people have said he's so intelligent and so good that if he was to play right back after 10 minutes, he'd be the best player on the pitch in that position. It's so funny because we had this Matt Smith. I think his name's, is it Matt Smith? The blonde hair player. He was on the bench. He was on the bench in the FA Cup final against Chelsea, wasn't he? So you're getting these youth players, Amari Hutchinson, that have been on the bench like quite a few times, but he's actually brought this guy on. It's quite incredible, really. The clips of him, the few clips there are, he looks top drawer at the level he's playing, and he's always playing above himself. I think he's definitely played for England under 17s at 15. Whether he's played for England under 18, I'm not quite sure. But he's always playing above himself. And look, we might not see him for another few years. Gideon Zelalem was a player that made a debut very young. There's been quite a few that have made debuts really young, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But Arteta, I don't think is one for giving people debuts and chances just for the sake of it. And I've been reading.
There's a reason why he's played him. There's a reason why he's brought him in.
I'm even reading just now, like you get these pundits that are saying, I don't understand why he's brought him on. It's wrong. Blah blah blah. All these negative answers.
I'd like them to answer what's wrong.
I'll tell you what. These pundits go and speak to Ethan's family and ask him if it was a wrong decision to play him. And then all the coaches that have been training them, the friends, people that have put time and effort into himself, go and ask them if it's the wrong decision to.
What about Ethan's under 18s and under 21s teammates who are now looking at him and thinking, right, I'm stepping up next week. From now on, I'm doing everything Ethan does and more because I want to play for the first team.
Yeah, that could be
that's such a positive message to all the youngsters. Go and watch. I urge you after this year to go and watch Inside Howland. You'll see everything they're putting into this youth team and the mentality that they're trying to drive into the youth players from bottom to. It's absolutely unbelievable. The Arsenal's youth academy will be one of the best in the world, without doubt, if it's not nearly already, because of every single last morsel that they think about Everything they do, they think about the parents, the way they bring up the players as human beings, not footballers, human beings. The way if someone's not talking, like they pulled out a captain, they made a kid the captain of the team. He starts digging out some of the players in the team. The kid gets pulled outside, told, okay, first of all, you can't be talking to people like that. You need to look at your own performances. You're a leader in the team. People now are going to be like shy around you if you're going to be talking around them. You need to talk. You need to be giving them advice, not criticism. The kid has changed overnight. The next time he came in, he was completely different. And this is what they're doing. And for those kids there to see a 15-year-old who they all would have thought or would have known is great. We all as kids know when this player is excellent. We're like, he's quality. We know. So when we see him go into those different positions, it raises everyone else's game. So it's absolute nonsense what those pundits are talking. Absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Steve, what's your thoughts on him getting minutes the other day?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, you've already said it there. The main reason is that I think firstly Arteta wouldn't have played him if he didn't think he was good enough to be sitting on that bench. Yeah, he's brought him into the training. He's been training there for, I think he's been training for a few days or before the game, or he'd been there the whole week, leading up to the Brentford game. So he's obviously brought him in to have a look at. He's had a look at him and he's thought he's good enough to sit on the bench. So, fantastic. And it's like the main thing what that's done, it's a masterstroke for me, what he's done, Arteta, because you've already said it. If you're a young kid and you see what this, he can be, he's 15 and he can be playing for Arsenal football, you're going to step up your game. You're going to step it up, and you're going to be playing Premiership football. So yeah, if I can't see any reason. I thought he was great. I'm so pleased for the boy. I'm so pleased for his family. It must be incredible. Look, he was only on for a little while. He came on, he had a couple of touches, and I thought it was quite decent touches. So I hope to see him again soon, if it's not maybe in a League Cup game or something like that. I've always believed in the old, saying that, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And says Fabregas was I think he weren't far off 15 years old, and so many 16 when he came in at Arsenal. Well, all I can say to the pundit, whoever said what they said about Ethan, is he didn't do too bad, did he, Cesc? So, don't give me all that rubbish. Great for the boy, really pleased. I can't wait to see him. I hope he gets his chance again soon.
Stephen says, do you not think he gave him a game because other clubs are sniffing around him and Arteta's making sure he signs with us? Look, there's still no assurance that he would sign with us. And I don't think he was given a game because other teams are sniffing around. I think he was given a game because we were 3-0 up. He was maybe put on the bench because other teams were sniffing about. Yeah. But then that's still like, because he was on the bench and we were 3-0 up, he got a game. Look, if they didn't do that, then he wouldn't even be considered. So, and Mikel Arteta is not going to put this young player on the bench instead of someone else who could potentially play and come on and do a better job than he can. He's just not going to do that. I think what 5 substitutes does gives these opportunities, which is really good, which is what we want. We want these opportunities for youngsters to come on and play those last few minutes because it makes a massive difference. Just not even if he doesn't come on the pitch the other day, just being in and around the change rooms, the team talk, the pre-match setup, the breakfast, all of those things are now going to set him. He knows he's now got to get into a routine. This is his routine for the match day. Routine might have been different for match day, but now he's in the routine of all the pros do. Maybe he's going to start doing that from now on. It's all these little things that will that he now he's had the opportunity to see, and he can take them into his own game. Like it all benefits at the end of the day. Very, very good. We've seen, I think someone mentioned Amari Hutchinson earlier on. Again, it doesn't guarantee being in the first team doesn't guarantee that you're going to stay. Amari Hutchinson not only was in the first team on many occasions last year, as you saw in the All or Nothing documentary, is that pretty much in every match he was on the bench, and there was talk that this season was going to be his season, to be his breakthrough season, to get a lot more opportunities in the team.
Yeah.
So him going to Chelsea still absolutely baffles me. Like, it absolutely baffles me, because
they regret that.
What is he playing now? He's gone back into the under-23s, and yes, he was playing under-23s at Arsenal. But like, I don't even see him on the bench at Chelsea. I don't know if he's been on the bench at Chelsea, but I don't even see him on the bench. He's just in the under-23s.
It's not like he's moved up anywhere, is it? You know,
no, it's a silly move. And apparently, from what I'm reading, it's for money as well. So, which is absolute nonsense.
Stupid at that age.
Yeah, it's stupid. But each to his own, and I mean, you live and you learn. All right. Before we go, let's get on to the fixtures in October. We've got the international break right now. First game when we come back, 1st of October, Tottenham. Big game at home, London derby. Jerome, there's the schedule. We've got Tottenham on the 1st, followed by Europa League games. Liverpool sandwiched in between, Europa League game. Leeds, Europa, Southampton. It gets a bit... This seems to be the respite, maybe. Because, if you look at these games here, these are doable as well. But it's this here. Tottenham, the Tottenham game, the Liverpool game. October would have been a tougher month if we had Man City as well.
Oh, yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Tottenham game and Liverpool game coming up then in October?
God. Well, hopefully there'll be heavy rotation in between. Fingers crossed, but I think the Emirates is going to be buzzing for both of those games. It's good that they're both at home.
Yeah.
I think that's going to not make a difference, but I think it's a positive. Just really, really looking forward to it. And I think if we can continue playing the way we've been playing, then we've got big chances in both. Normally, Liverpool tend to roll us over.
They've not been great this season. Do you think this could be an opportunity to really sort of put aside any sort of doubts in the mind and say this team's for the taking? It could be an opportunity for Mikel Arteta for one of his team talks, light bulb, lawnmower, whatever he wants to do. But it could be a really good opportunity to get points off Liverpool this season.
I hope he's charged his whiteboard up and he's got it ready to use. Look, Mane used to do us a lot of damage in these games, and obviously he's not there anymore. So that's decent that Mane won't be there. The crowd are going to be so behind the team. It's a very exciting. I know there's a lot of fixtures, but as a fan, like for us, it's brilliant. Every few days there's a game. Can't wait. And also, I guess we're playing our rivals in those games. So if you can nick points off of them, even better as well.
Does it feel like there's a bit of a different feeling going to these games now, rather than trepidation? It's a bit more excitement. See how we can do.
Yeah. There's sometimes when you look at a run of fixture and you think, I don't know where the next point's going to come from, but I think every game now, you're confident that we can get something out of it. The confidence and the feeling is just totally different. It's changed so much. Just wish I could go to those games because I know they're going to be amazing to be at.
No, definitely. Steve, October's lightened a little bit with the postponement of the Manchester City game, and we'll be playing PSV instead. The two toughest games seem to be Tottenham and Liverpool. Just saying to Jerome, different feeling going to these games now, do you feel?
Yeah, definitely a much more. You know, before you used to go into them games, was always a bit worried. Look, they're going to be big games. They're going to be hard games. I think both of them are at home, aren't they? They both at home.
Yes, they are both at home.
They're both at home, so we're going to have the crowd behind us. I bet I could. You know, nearly most teams are going to be find us hard to beat at home this season, and you know, I think that our fans at the Emirates this season have will be like an extra man. I mean, especially against Tottenham. I mean, the atmosphere there and them days are incredible anyway. So especially you know, the way the team's playing at the moment, the confidence that their football they're playing. Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in going and, you know, maybe not winning them both, but certainly coming away with at least 4 points from those two games. It might all depend on, you know, on injuries and form. You know, we've got these England internationals coming up, and you know what happens with these internationals. There's always someone comes back with some kind of knock. Luckily, we've got a few players who won't be out on international duty. So with that kind of schedule coming up, that's an even better reason to not have your Gabriels, your Martinellis, and your Ben Whites and Jesus is, you know, not there because we're going to need them, you know, fighting fit and, you know, full, you know, getting all ready to go in them games. But I'm not worried. As I said earlier on, I said I've seen Tottenham play this season. I've not got any problems with them at the moment. They haven't played anybody. Son's came in. He looked good. When he come on, he got a hat trick. You know, not scored for 9 games. Now he's the best player in the world again. You know, after not scoring in 9. So I don't know about that, but I don't know. Good player. I ain't slagging off Son at all. He's great. Yeah, great player. But it does sometimes people go a little bit over the top.
Yeah, they do. Know. I did notice that it wasn't. They had nothing good about Son over the last few weeks, and all of a sudden he comes on, scores an hat trick. It was. Oh, he's back. This guy is yeah.
Best player in the world, the greatest player in the world, best player in the Premier League. There's nobody like you, Min Son. You know, he was dog shite for like 10 games, so he hasn't even got a goal. But yeah, so just calm it down a bit there. So I ain't worried about Spurs. I think we're a better team than Spurs. I think we've got a better squad. And Liverpool ain't the Liverpool that we've known for the past few seasons. I said at the beginning of the season that I wasn't too sure about Liverpool. You know, there was
Mane's a big miss.
Mane's a massive miss. Nunes, we haven't seen Nunes yet. The midfield seems to be ageing.
Massively.
And there's nothing there. They brought in Arthur there. They seem to be, you know, I think that second spot's open this season. You know, I think it really is open. I think there's a few teams that it's early days, but your Arsenal's, your Chelsea's, you know, those type of teams could possibly get second place this year because of Liverpool just don't look right. So especially in that midfield area. So I'm not worried. The Europa League games, I think we'll fly through them. Although Bodas Gimp is not an easy, you know, it may be a name that people might not recognise, but you know, we had David Weatherston on the show. You know, he told us all about Bodas Glimp, and they're a good side. They're the champions of their country, so that's going to be difficult. So that they shouldn't take that for granted. But overall, mate, you know, you look at those fixtures there, and what you said, you know, over seasons to come, you might think, we might slip up. But at the moment, we're on such a good run, even with the game that we've lost. So yeah, I'm looking forward to them, and hopefully we should get what we deserve out of them, and I'm sure we will.
No, definitely. Before we go, a quick one. I think I saw Russ ask this question. Is there any worries about Emil Smith-Rowe, Jerome? Is another injury? He's been picked up. I know there's probably a little less pressure with now. There's Fabio Verreira in that centre who can cover that spot. The left side probably needs a bit of a backup option for Martinelli as well. I know Reece Nelson is just come back from a relatively bad injury. But are you worried about Emil Smith-Rowe at this point?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I heard them say it was something to do with like because he's growing or something. I don't know if you saw that as well. It's to do with that, but that ain't good because everyone grows. So I'm not quite sure about that. But yeah, I am.
Because his
Honestly,
bones, it's his bones in his leg
I
apparently.
am.
His bones in his leg are not going so fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it basically it is a worry because
That's a bit of a worry.
injuries. Now he's
it's a reoccurring injury.
You know, I don't know if it's reoccurring. I think this might be a new one.
Oh, is it?
Normally he's had like groin. I think maybe I don't know exactly, to be honest, but yeah, I am worried because people are gonna pick up injuries naturally in challenges and just playing, and you don't need any more when you're sort of just picking them up just naturally. So I don't know. Let's see how the next. And also, I'll tell you what's worrying. There hasn't been like a date put on when he's going to be back, so that's not normally a good sign either.
Yeah. Steve, is there any worry about Emil Smith-Rowe's injuries at the moment?
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried. He's placing aside. He's obviously he's becoming a little bit of a squad player at the moment, and with these injuries, obviously there's no way of him getting game time, and there's no way of him getting back into the side. He suffers with a little bit. He's been unlucky. He's always had this bit of a weight problem, which is funny because I do have a nephew who's had the same type of injury with his legs. He also plays at quite a high level, and it's to do with his bones and that are not growing at the rate that they should. And I've heard that Emil's running around in training with leg straints on both legs in training. So when you're hearing things like that, you think, and like Jerome said, you've not been given any sort of time frame of when he's coming back. It's very worrying. I think he's got sounds like he's got quite a serious injury. Well, not into the sense of like his career, but for like a length of time of being out, it's one of those very rare ones where, he's fighting against all the odds at the moment, isn't he? Nothing's sort of going right for him. He's lost his place in the side. He's always fighting against Wyatt. And he was just coming back to form, wasn't he, as well, at one point? We was all getting very excited for him. He got his team, got back into the England squad. And then he got the injury, and then Martinelli came in and he sort of took over his place. Odegaard's come in. There was a little battle between Odegaard and Smith-Rowe at some point. It was Emil Smith-Rowe was in front of Odegaard at some point, and then Odegaard's got the bit between his teeth and won the place over him, and Odegaard's just gone on from strength to strength. So yeah, it's worrying, and I just hope he's back soon, because he's certainly a valid member of the Arsenal squad. So I don't want to talk about selling him or anything like that, because he's someone we need a big squad for this. This season. The season's going on. He's a very young man. He's a very talented man. He's an international footballer. So just pray and hope that he just gets back soon.
No, definitely. It's always a worry when players get reoccurring injuries back to back when they've not even been playing. And they just seem to be getting longer and longer. Look, there's always seems to be there's going to be a spot in a place for Emil Smith-Rowe. He come through the youth ranks, very highly regarded at Arsenal. I think I saw something in the other day where someone was asked who the most technically gifted best trainer was, and they said Emil Smith-Rowe. They said that he does things on the ball that I've not seen anyone do, and I was just like, wow. And that's coming from a very highly established player. So yeah, no, still a lot more to come from Smith-Rowe. I think that the introduction of Vieira and these other players that can sort of alleviate that worry for him to rush back could actually help him out.
Good point.
So we will see. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you, everyone in the comment section. Just joined us tonight. I see Russ in there. I see Stephen in there. I see Johnny in there. I see Ale Mayo. Thank you very much for joining us. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not joined us before. If you are a regular, press that like and press that copy button. Copy button. I mean, the share button, copy button. It is. Thank you, everyone who's joined us tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Yeah, of course. Cheers. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
All right, make sure you press that like and subscribe, people. Peace out. Stay safe. And wash your hands.